Well, you're welcome back. October is the month of the pink breakfasts. Over the next few weeks, businesses across the country are going to be hosting tea and treat mornings to raise funds for the Irish Cancer Society.
And while we're stuck here, our man on the ground, Derek, has stopped at one such event in Swords to see what it's all about. We go live to him now. Derek.
Yes, absolutely, Elaine. Well, as you can see, I'm dressed all in pink here this morning for a very special reason, because we're here to tie in with the big pink and, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Girls, what a spread!
I know.
Yeah.
You knew we were coming.
You knew we were coming, so you made the effort.
Some effort in this morning.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Emma. And I suppose, Emma, we'll kick off with you
Yeah.
in terms of your diagnosis. Let's take us back to that day when you found out.
Sure. So I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer on my 36th birthday, on the day of, and kind of came out of nowhere because I was genuinely, everybody says it, but you don't think it's going to be you. And yeah, it was kind of, you know, I had been doing self-examinations and I found a lump, and probably left it for a bit longer than I should have, you know, because I think everybody does that, you know.
And why did you do that?
I think it's just nerves, isn't it? You just kind of, you don't think, you do, in your head you're thinking it's going to be fine, it's grand, but there's that bit of nerves as well that you're thinking, if I go and get this looked at and then they come back with bad news, you know. So yeah, I was diagnosed on my birthday, and it's probably still the worst birthday to date. But started my treatment then in May, just 2 months later.
So you went to Beaumont.
Yeah, I was under Professor Hill in Beaumont.
Okay, so let's talk about your treatment, the stages that you went through.
So I was diagnosed in March. I went in, I had meetings and stuff with the doctors between March and May. I went in for my mastectomy in May. They had done biopsies on my lymph nodes, and thankfully it wasn't in my lymph nodes, so it was just confined to the tumour in the breast. Had the mastectomy in May. And I started chemotherapy then in July.
So this was a very quick turnaround.
Very quick.
You're talking 2 months.
Yeah, not even. I think it was about 6 weeks in total. And in those 6 weeks, I was constantly in and out of the hospital, meeting with different consultants and meeting with the breast care team, and they were fantastic. Like they absolutely looked after me, and from the very start, I never had any doubt that this was going to be, you know, it was just going to be, we'll do the operation, we'll do the chemo, and you'll be fine. And they always had me thinking that from the very get-go.
And kind of, let's get on with it, let's get this sorted.
Yeah, 100%. And it was never a worry. And people always say to me, like, God, did you not worry, you know, that's going to be terminal? I was like, no, because they never gave me that worry. It was just constantly, it'll be fine, you're going to be grand. We'll do the operation, you'll do your chemo, you'll be fine.
Post-surgery, hair loss.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
I thought it was going to be horrible. And it was when I was told I was going to have chemo. The first thing I asked him was I going to lose my hair? And he said, yeah, probably. And I did genuinely, for the first few weeks, I was like, this is going to be the worst thing that happens. And then I kind of went to give myself a bit of a shake, and I was like, listen.
Now, you got yourself a wig.
I did.
And the wig went out the window.
Oh, God. I wore it once. I think I wore it to a friend's wedding, and I think I did. I got halfway through the day, and I went, no, I can't do this. It was just too hot, and it's too itchy, and it's not me, and it looked like my old hair, but it didn't look like my hair.
Okay.
So I ended up just wearing caps. And little hats and things like that. And
you went from there, and
fine.
You're looking fit and healthy,
Oh,
and there is a beautiful positive glow off you this morning. And I suppose the glow zone, that's what it's all about, Aoibhinn, because you two are best pals, and following the pandemic, you kind of got your brains together, you got thinking, and this business came about.
That's right, yeah. So I suppose before we were both kind of in jobs that we didn't realise at the time that we were unhappy, but we were working crazy hours, and we were meeting a lot of people that we felt didn't have any confidence, or very low confidence, very little confidence. So when we got together, we kind of said, let's do something about that, let's go for change, and get people into their best glow. So that's where we started, and the fitness we were both in Pilates, yoga, personal training, meditation, all went hand in hand, and that is just to get people their confidence and their glow.
Absolutely, and I suppose it's the next step. And we were talking earlier on, there is women who do come into you post-surgery who are breast cancer survivors, and in terms of training them, there is a format that they have to follow, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, everyone's individual, so it's not just breast cancer, it can be any form of surgery. And I'll talk to everyone individually and get to know the client first. And then between myself and their notes from their doctors or their surgery, we'll go through what they can and can't do. And we structure programs specifically for them. So it could be a specific training program in Pilates or yoga, or mixing a lot together, and personal training, using very little weights and building up from there.
Yeah, like you can't go straight straight into it. You have to take your time and ease yourself into it.
Yeah, take your time, everything's slow and steady. And that's not just the body, that's the mind too. So we're trying to put it all together, going slow and steady and building yourself back up. And not necessarily, people say, I want to go back to who I was. It's going to a new person and finding a new glow and who you are kind of going forward from there.
And that's it, Emma. And I suppose you're a new person now. And I see your sister over here as well, Rebecca. Great support from the family as well.
Yeah, fantastic support from both our families the whole way through my treatment. I had amazing support from friends and family. Like, I literally would not have made it through without them. They were fantastic. And when we set up the business, the same friends and family for both of us rallied, and they did everything. Like, they're so supportive of everything we've done so far.
Any advice you give to someone who spots a lump on their breast?
Get it checked straight away. It's nerve-wracking, of course it is, but it's never going to be as bad as what you have built up in your head. And the longer you leave it, the more that panic builds up. And, you're better off. It's easy for me to say it on the flip side of it, but you are better off to know, what's going on, rather than, it'll be fine. It's better just to get it checked. And I would always say early detection is key for breast cancer. And I was very lucky. For me, it wasn't in my lymph nodes, and it was surgery and chemotherapy, and touch wood. That's it for me now.
That's it for you. Very inspiring story, girls.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thank
You'll
you.
find them online on their socials